Welcome, welcome, welcome to Open Discussion. Open Discussion is a place where we discuss different topics, most of all gardening, because this is basically a gardening channel, but we also hit different topics from time to time because I think it's important for us to touch different topic instead of just gardening. So I think it's good to have some open discussion where we all can just sit and have a conversation. How you guys doing tonight? Hi Clipty, how you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? How was your week? Yes, people, how you guys doing? I hope you guys doing awesome because it's getting into times where we just have to just take it easy, relax ourselves, try to think positive, try to motivate ourselves, try to place ourselves around like-minded people who want to grow, who want to uplift their self. Because one thing I want to say, make sure your circle, the people you hang with, is people who can uplift you, not people that drag you down. Because if you want to grow, you got to deal with people who want you to grow in whatever you're doing. Some people try and try and try, but sometimes is always stumbling back, black in our way. So don't give up. Never give up. Yes, guys, I supposed to have a special guest tonight, but I'm not sure because they're going through some difficulties. So I guess I will just have to run it. And if they're able to come, then we just go on. But for now, I'm going to continue. And I just hope you guys doing awesome. All right. Yes, guys. So let's talk about gardening for a moment and how your garden going. Are you getting rain or are you getting a lot of hot sun? How your garden is going. I hope you guys' garden is doing awesome because mine is doing amazing. The thing about it, guys, with gardening, you got to take care of your plants them from young. So when you take care of your plants from young, when the plants reach a certain age, a certain way, you ain't got to take care of them again. They reach that stage now where they can basically take care of themselves. So all you got to make sure you make sure the soil is great and you just allow them to grow. Like for now, my plants them, I'm just allowing them to grow and just harvest. I have a lot of weeds growing up in my garden. I'm not even worried about them because the thing about it is most of my plants is trying to get taller than me. My okra plants, most of them taller than me. My peppers, most of them taller than me. So just try to take care of your plants them from young and you wouldn't have to do much thing. All right? Yes, guys. So yes, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's talk. Let's conversate. let's just get into it, man. Let's get into it. Because I'm seeing a lot of things going on today. I don't know for you guys, but I'm observing and I'm paying attention. Meanwhile, I'm paying attention, I'm seeing more and more and more. I don't know what you guys seeing. I don't know if you guys seeing anything. But for me, I'm seeing a whole lot. And I think it's wise to start observing and paying attention. The reason for that is when you start paying attention, you will start seeing a lot of things. If you're not paying attention, it's hard for you to see anything. So yes, guys, how your day going, how your week going, how everything going for you. I hope you guys is doing wonderful, you know. What I really want to talk about today, I want to talk about different things. I want to talk about gardening. I want to talk about life itself and how I see life operating within ourselves. So I just want to see, I just want to talk for a moment. Because what I see, right? I look at life as this. We as a people, we try our best to do things right and to live. Some of us try to live a good, peaceful, normal life, right? And we try. But what happened is something keep blocking us. Don't care how hard we try, something keep blocking us. We're doing all the right things. We're doing everything we think is right, but something keep blocking us. So, okay, if that's the case, are we here for a certain purpose, or our life already laid out for us that is just whatever designed for us? That's the path we take. Is it sometimes we trying to do other things and it wasn't destined for us to do? So that's why we're having so much problems in achieving, or our life already planned out and placed out. This is a question, guys. This is a question that I really think, well, I think about. I don't know about other people, but it's a question I look into. Is our life already laid out, played out, laid out for us, and we just got to follow the step? Or if we try to take another path, nothing works. It's like a stumbling block in our way. I don't know if this ever happened to any one of you, but sometimes you want to do something. You want to do something, and everything you try, something is blocking you from achieving this. Hello, Clipty, how you doing? Hello, Lassus Johnny, how you doing? Yes, sometimes everything you try, you do all the right things, and something blocking you. And then what we heard is, oh, it wasn't meant to be, or it wasn't meant for you. So if it wasn't meant for me or for you, why is it Our life already set in a part, and we just got to live that life. Or anytime we try to stray away from that life, we meet a stumbling block. I mean, think about it. I don't know if it happened to any one of you guys, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. And then when I look into it, it's for real. All right, Lazarus, okay, doing great. That's wonderful. Yes. So is our life already designed and set out there for us? Or we can just live our life? Because when you look at it as well, your life is like a puzzle, and you got to really find the pieces. You got to find the pieces to put that puzzle together. So if you can't put your puzzle together, you will be confused. It's like you're going to be confused in what you're doing because you don't know what you're doing. So we got to find these pieces of puzzle, and put them together. And because our life can be, I believe our life can be a much easier life. But when we try to go out, I'm just saying, sometimes we try to go out and do different things, and a roadblock hit us. And we do everything. We follow all the steps. I mean, if we following all the steps, we're doing all the things that's right. But at the same time, something is blocking us from going forward. So that's what I'm asking. Is it our life already set aside for us and we just live in it? This is why I talk about open mind and open discussion, because sometimes we get confused with a lot of things, and by having an open discussion, you open up to different ideas, and sometimes certain things you've been waiting for, question, answers you've been waiting for, sometimes it just come by hearing somebody say one word or two words, and you've been waiting for these answers for so long. So sometimes the open discussion with the open mind, not close your mind that somebody says something and you get upset. No, sometimes a person might say something, and if you really pay attention to what they're saying, it can open up something for you. But life is something. Life is something. And because of the way we grow up, it might be confusing, because the teaching we receive, so anything comes new to us, we close it down because this is not what we've been taught. But I'm going to tell you this: not everything you read in a book means it's true, or that's exactly how it's happened. Because somebody write that book, whatever book you read, somebody write that book from their perspective, from what they believe or what they see or what they think. And no, not because it might sound good to you, meaning it's true. In order for us to start get confirmation with things, we got to start paying attention to ourselves. Sometimes we could doubt our own self. Why we could doubt our own self? Because of what we've been taught growing up. So because you taught certain things growing up, when things come to you naturally, you doubt them. Oh no, it can't be so. It confuse you because of the way you grew up, the things you learn. But did you ever sit back one day and meditate for a moment? Did you ever sit back one day and have a conversation with yourself? Did you ever find yourself in your closet in a dark place and meditate for a moment? Did you ever close your eyes and look from within and see things from a spiritual perspective? Did you ever do these things? Well, if you never do these things, you need to start do these things. Because if you want to find, if one want to find oneself, they got to look within them, not out there. It's hard to find it out there. You have to look within you. And then the next thing, another thing again, people like to judge people without even knowing them. And the thing about it, sometimes the things they're judging people about, they're no difference. You know, they're no different from what they judging people about. So, we got to, as a people, we got to let go of judging and just live our life. Try to live a life with values. Try to live a life with values. Let your life be beneficial to others, the future, the children. Let the message you deliver able to benefit someone. We all here for different, like I know saying, for different reason, different purpose. You understand? This is why I'm asking this question. Is our life already designed out for us, and we just got to fit the puzzle, the pieces, put the puzzle together? Or is it we can just live our life? Free will. When we talk about free will, what is free will? What is free will? Free will is when you can do whatever you want without consequences. But when you have choices and you got to choose, that's not free will. Hello, Kurt, how you doing? Thanks for being here. How are you doing? Yes. Free will is when you just do freely. But when you talk about consequences and you got to make choices, that's not free will. Because at the end of the day, you have to choose something. So that's not free will. Sometimes when you really look at things, man, when you look at things, it can be real disturbing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things we grow up from, we don't even understand because this is how we've been taught. That's how we've been taught. We never even tried you couldn't question anything because from the time you try question something, what they do, they say, oh, you can't question. So don't question nothing. So all you must do is just believe, believe, believe. Don't doubt it, just believe, believe, believe. So in times like that, you cannot learn. The only thing you can learn and really is what you've been taught, not what you experience. And for me, without you experience something is not facts. Like a lot of people read a lot of books and they say they're scholars. They all they're doing reading books, right? And they call themselves scholars because they're reading a lot of books. And they educated because they read a lot of books. All right, let's talk about that. Who write the books? Did, did you write the book? Did you do any research? Did you see anything that's happened that's written in this book? No, you did not. So how can you use a book that somebody has written to you, that's written and telling me is facts? I'm sorry. That's not fact. Hey, hi, everyday life of an OC district. Thank you for being here. Yes, that's not facts for me. Maybe it's for other people, it's not facts for me. What is facts? Facts is something when you experience it and you see it for yourself, then it becomes facts for you. But if you read some books, that does not mean you know something. You read with somebody write. This is some person opinion that they write. This is a person opinion that they write in this book. So no, it's not facts to you because you read that. This is why I love experiment. I love confirmation. I love experiment and confirmation. Yes, your own. Yes, when you experience something, then it becomes facts. That's how I see it. It cannot be facts if you read 15 books that's other people write. That's their opinion. That does not mean there's no truth inside of it. Don't get me wrong. That does not mean there's no truth inside of it. But you cannot take it as facts and then want to tell me, oh, this is facts. And I see a lot of people doing this. Read and they read it. Okay, like I see people start doing debates, right? They're doing debates. And the debates that they're doing is about a book they're reading. Like they might be talking about the history of what take place. They might be talking about different topics. But what happened is they're reading books and telling you this is facts and fighting and arguing with each other. I don't understand that. I can't understand that. I don't know. I just can't understand. How can you read in a book and want to tell people it's facts? Nobody can take away my truth and experience. Definitely. I agree with that, Lashos. When you experience something, not Lashos, everyday life of an OC district. When you experience something, you know for a fact is your truth. It ain't got to be somebody else's truth, but it's your truth because you experience it. Nobody didn't tell you. You didn't read it in a book. But I'm seeing people arguing, they're debating about history. You have no clue about what you're talking about. You're reading a book. And this is, listen me guys, this is the problem. This is why a lot of people is in this state today. Why? Because they're not dealing with self-knowledge. They're dealing from a belief system. Believe, believe, believe. Well, I have a choice, so it's either I believe or I don't believe. I'm not gonna just live and just believe everything that a person said or what I read. I'm not gonna do that. Sometimes I need my own little experiment, my own little confirmation. And that does not mean is your confirmation. My confirmation does not mean is your confirmation. But I can share what I confirm, what I get confirmation from, and then you don't have to believe. You can take that and do your own thinking. Thinking, meditate, something awesome, guys. Sometimes you got to take yourself away from everything. Your job, your problems, whatever you're doing in your house, whatever you're doing in your garden, whatever you're doing. Sometimes you got to take yourself away from these things and spend some time with yourself. Sometimes a lot of people believe loneliness, it's a problem. Or sometimes that's the time you need. That loneliness. That's the time you need, because that's when you start thinking. That's when you start thinking and you start seeing things. So when you start seeing things and start thinking, a lot of stuff gonna start really revealed to you because you're thinking. If you're not thinking and you just believing, ain't much gonna really reveal to you, because you already close up your mind, and what you're doing now, you believe everything once it sounds good to you. Well, let me tell you this. A lot of people could craft up things for you and make you feel like it's for real. So be careful. Hey, G Mama, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yeah, a lot of people can craft up things for you and make it feel real comfortable to you and make you believe it. So, not telling you guys what to do, but I think thinking for yourself, spending time with yourself, you can get a lot of confirmation. Spend some time with yourself. The kids them, when the kids them sleeping, spend some time with yourself. If you got to go outside, spend some time with yourself. Because when you spend time with yourself, that's how things reveal. That's how confirmation comes to you. Because it's going to make you think. It will make you think. And by thinking, that's what a lot of people don't want you to do. A lot of people don't want you to think, because this is why they tell you in certain things, do not question. Do not question. Because if you question, meaning you're seeking for answers. And seeking for answers, confirmation gonna come in a lot of different things. In a lot of different things. So spend time with yourself. Sometimes you could go in your closet in a dark little place and give yourself a 15, 20, half an hour, how long you can, with yourself. Spend that moment. Feel out yourself. Meditate. Look into yourself. Look within. look from your spiritual eye. That eye do not see physical things. That eye see only spiritual things. But a lot of people don't have a clue about these things because they never thought about it. Hi, Urban Gardening and Lifestyle. How you doing? Urban Gall, sorry. Urban Gall Gardening and Lifestyle. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Hey, Ken Harris, thank you for being here. How you doing? Well, I think I see you before. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Ken, how you doing? What's going on? All right, Ken, I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link inside so you can all right, you could click the link and come up, Ken. It's right there. Yes, guys, so look into yourself, pay attention to yourself, observe what is going on, because a lot of things we do sometimes we're not even aware of the things we do. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Hans in the Dot. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. Yes, sometimes we do things and sometimes we're not even aware why we're not aware. Sometimes sometimes we have so much going on, so much situation going on, a lot of stress, and sometimes we do things that we didn't even want to do. All right, guys, I'm supposed to have a special guest tonight. Okay. Yes. Hey, Ken. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. I have a special guest tonight. And I mean, this is a gardener as well, and he do a lot of gardening. He do a lot of different things. He plant, he real animal. He do a lot of things. So I just want them to come in and share some knowledge about things that he do, and So all right, I'm gonna welcome him on stage now. Hey brother, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm amazing. Sorry I was late, and I coach my son's football team, and their practice ends right at the same time that you start your live. So took a little bit of time to get set up.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Man, it's still daylight by you.
Yeah, as the sun's going down, but yeah, it'll be dark here in another half hour.
Oh wow, wow, that's awesome. Okay. So yes, man. Tell us a little about what you growing and the animals. I mean, tell us how you do it, man.
Oh, I'm doing well. Yeah, I've got right now. We've got chickens and pigs. I've got some cows down in Georgia that once I build my pens and my pasture gets enclosed, I'll be going to pick those up and moving them to my property. But yeah, right now I'm getting ready to plant my second succession of most of my crops, so corn and field peas and those things, because I'm in the South just like you, so we have a longer growing season.
Yes.
So I can get a couple of sessions in before we have to go into the cold weather crops.
All right, all right. So what you planting for the cold weather?
For
For
the
the
cold
fall.
weather, just all the brassicas, man. Some collards, some mustards, multiple kinds of cabbage, collard, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, beets, all the cool, the normal cool weather crops.
All right. Well, I really not planting any winter crop, the winter fall crop. I basically allowing using that time to build the soil, build the soil for next spring. But I have a lot of food in the garden, so I'm just harvesting right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't planted anything yet for the fall, but I'm doing my start. So I'm starting them, and then I'm going to transplant most of them. So all my greens, starting those indoors, and then I'm going to transplant those probably end of August, beginning of September. That way, a lot of people always want, collard greens, mustard greens, cabbage for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I'll get those in, and I'll be able to sell those for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So about your manual, how you make your manual, like your
Compost.
compost, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lazy composter. I just all the leaves and all the trees that fall down and all the if anything I cut down when I'm cutting back the like limbs off of the fence lines for my animal enclosures, all that stuff gets burned and some of it gets chipped up and just pile up into the compost. As well as the chicken coops get cleaned out once a year and all that manure from the chicken coops, all that goes in there. The chickens and the ducks, all that goes into the compost, and I just let it to, give it a year and for it to break down. I'm going to be experimenting with some bokashi, with the fermenting of like the meats and everything. Because normally you don't put the meats or the bones in your compost, but I'm going to experiment with that this year to break it down, and then also add that to my regular hot compost.
Okay, okay. I when me I try. I mean, we all grow. Everybody grow food different, but I basically try to stay away from everything. I just allow nature to break it down, and I've been doing this for years, and now it's definitely I see the result from it. So yeah, I mean, man, I have okra trees 7 feet tall right now, pepper trees 7 feet tall. I mean, I'm loaded with pepper. And I mean, it happens every year. So by me using natural product, I'm seeing great result without adding any form of, a lot of people add like meat, chicken manure is a real good manure. I would
Yeah,
love to get some chicken manure, but I don't get these. So I just stick to the leaf, the grass, and I mean, everything work wonderful.
yeah.
But everybody grow different. So I'm not, I just like to hear other ideas that people have on the way they grow their food.
Well, up until now, that's what I've been doing. But I like to experiment. I'm always trying something different, trying something new. I'm always pushing the zones. I'm always trying things. People go, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, or you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. I take it as a challenge. I'll try it anyway. Either it won't work out or I'll figure out a way to make it work. Especially like maybe I can't grow citrus down here. I'm going to give it a shot. I just bought an almond tree, when I was in North Carolina. I want to see if I can make it work.
Okay, okay. Well, you have, I buy a lemon tree and an orange tree. And I'm not sure if they're cold hardy, but I plant them. I'm just hoping to see that if they're gonna come back for next spring. If they, because I know after the winter they're gonna dry down. So
Yeah.
for the spring, I'm just hoping to see. I'm just trying a lot of different things. I have some banana tree that doing really well right now. So I'm just waiting to see if I can able to harvest some banana maybe next year.
Yeah, I have about I think 4 bananas. I started with one plant and it just the pups came off and I just separated them out and started them. And so they're doing well. I'm gonna experiment again with those. I'm gonna leave 2 of them out and I'm gonna put the other 3 inside my greenhouse and see how that works.
So what about avocado? Do you plant avocado?
I have never planted avocado, but I do have 2 pits that I'm getting ready to try to start, and so that'll be a new thing for me.
Okay, I have like 6 of them, but I know they're not gonna come back for the spring. What I did, I tried the seed and the boss, and they're growing lovely.
Mhm.
But in the weather, I know I'm not gonna get them back. But I just love to see them.
Yeah, I think you get a little bit of a colder winter than I do. My winter is really short. I could probably honestly grow year round, but I give my gardens a break between New Year's and the 1st of March. That's when I take the time to work in some compost and just let it rest for a bit. Give myself a rest also. But at the same time, that's the same time I start doing my starts. I plant my seeds also for all of my tomatoes and eggplant and peppers. I start those the week of New Year's. That way they're ready to go on the ground the 1st of March. So there's no break. It's just like it's just a different kind of work instead of being out in the garden. I'm working in the greenhouse.
Yes, yes, yes. That is true, man. My thing is the thing about me with what I do, I put in all the work in the well, February, March, April. I put in a lot of work in the garden.
Yeah.
Come right down to the summer. And after that, I basically stop. I just allow the garden to grow and the weeds to grow. And then I use back the same weed as compost. You know what I'm saying? So I've been doing it for years. So I always have compost for the plant. Sometimes I go in the bushes and rake under those leaves. There's some beautiful compost laying under those leaves as
Oh
well.
yeah.
So that's all I use. And I mean, I've been doing really well. So, but I will love some rabbit manure and some chicken, but it got to
Yeah.
be naturally feed, not
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
whole.
I have chickens. I'm adding. Well, this year my must adds were rabbits, quail, and honeybees. I didn't get the
Wow.
animals, but I do have some beehives built. I have my rabbit hutches built and my quail pens built. So eventually I will have some rabbit manure. Um, I'm actually hoping to get some before the end of the year, but I just haven't had a chance to do so.
Okay. I'm trying to do, I'm trying to expand a little. I'm trying to expand the garden a little because there's some food I'm trying to plant. I don't know if you know about edibles, dashing, and those kind of food. It's a food that going like in the Caribbean. I mean, it grow in the US as well,
Right.
but it's a food that I grew up from. It grow like potato.
Okay.
It produce under the ground like potato, and you could eat the leaves. I mean, it's a beautiful plant.
Okay.
You could eat the leaf and you could eat the. So I'm trying to expand by planting a lot of that.
So is that a winter or a spring crop?
So spring crop.
Okay.
It takes 6 months though.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it takes 6 months. So if you plant it in the spring, by October, November, you harvesting. And all you have to do, you cut the head and replant it, and it come back for the next spring. So it's a real amazing plant. You know, it's almost look like elephant ears.
Okay.
Yeah, it almost look like elephant ears.
Yeah, someone told me you can. I think yesterday somebody told me that you can eat elephant ears. I'd never heard that.
I'm not sure. I don't want to tell nobody to eat it because I'm not
I
sure.
I took her word for it, but I'm not ready to try yet till I do some more research.
Okay. Wait, someone asked me, Urban, are you getting livestock? No, I don't think I want no livestock. Because I don't eat meat.
Hmm.
And no, I don't think I want to go through that. Then you got to go through, all these, people crying out for the rooster. I don't want to go through that. So I'm gonna stick to planting.
Yeah, I have livestock, and I'm every. I had a huge list when I first moved back to the family property. I was wearing myself out trying to get everything done at the same time, and I realized I'm not going to be able to do it all at the same time. So I decided to make a big list and then a more concise list for the season. So every season I have a list, and this year it was the like I said uh, the quail, the bees, and the rabbits. But I wound up getting some cattle. Cows were on my list for next year, but it just happened to fall in place. I met somebody that was that had some cows, and they decided they were gonna let me buy some of them. So they're still in Georgia on this property, but they can stay there as long as I need them to. But I'm just building infrastructure up so that I can eventually move them there, and I'm going to be expanding from there. But I've had pigs for a long time: pigs, chickens, ducks, geese, guineas. Yeah, I had livestock all the time.
Oh wow. So how many pigs you have? How many pigs you have?
Well, I just sold my 8 piglets last week, so
Wow.
I have the mama pig, and I have 2 more that are going to be going on the barbecue for probably Labor Day. So I'll be down to 1. So I'm actually looking for some more pigs right now. I'm getting ready to change to a different breed, and I'm going to be selling a premium pork. So I'm going to be probably getting about 5 pigs, so that I can produce 100 pigs a year. I just entered into a partnership with someone that they want no less than 100 pigs every year, and they're going to pay for them up front and come pick them up. So it's a
Oh
win-win.
wow. That's business right there, Ben.
Of business. So I'm,
And
I'm,
yeah.
I'm, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I love being on my property and at home. So I'm trying to fire myself from my other job. I have my own business, logistics, where I do a lot of traveling. But I'm trying to fire myself from that job so I can just be at home all the time and just be with the pigs, the
Right.
cows, and I homeschool my kids too. So I'm trying to be able to spend as much time as possible at the house. And
Got you, got
on top of the fact that there's so much craziness going on right now, I really want to be at home most of the time if I can be.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Hands in, I'm getting a buffalo. What kind of buffalo you getting, hands in the door? For man, you not me. Oh man, I don't want to go through that, man. The people them gonna be crying and all when the roots are screaming. So I really don't want to go through that.
Having technical difficulties over here.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So you have cows right now. Oh, you say you have cows coming from Georgia.
Yeah, I bought them from someone in Georgia, and they're still there right now. I'm going to be picking those up probably in September once I get the fencing built and their barn built. And I'm probably going to wind up buying some more because those are going to be for butchering. But I want to eventually have enough breeding stock where I can just have my own. So, I'll have 1 bull, maybe 4 cows, and those 4 cows will have calves every year, so I can maintain my own herd So whether I want to just butcher those and put them in my freezer, or if I want to sell them, I'll have my own stock.
Well, I think you're doing something good, man. And by setting up yourself like that, you could become like, do you have any place where you basically close to you where you could butcher your animals and
Oh,
basically sell the
I do
meat?
that myself.
Oh, well, you're doing business, man.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do that myself. Yeah, so be it pigs or chickens or cows or goats or sheep, I hunt on my property. So there's wild pigs and there's wild turkeys and there's deer. So I've been hunting I've been hunting and farming all my life, since I was probably 5 years old. So, um, pretty much most animals are the same. It's just different size. If you can butcher a pig. If you can butcher a rabbit, you can butcher anything, because pretty most part everything's the same. It is just bigger proportions. You need more sturdy equipment to butcher a cow. But I mean, you could as opposed to a goat, but it's the same principle.
Okay. Well, you could be a local butcher, man. So I like
What?
to hear that, man.
Well, I have a cousin that's getting ready to retire from the sheriff's department, and that's what he wants to do. Because there is a shortage of butchers. Um, because of a lot of things that came down after the coronavirus. But yeah, he wants to open a butcher shop, and what I want to do is expand that out and do mobile butchering. So that way, if somebody wants to bring in their animals to our facility, we can take care of that. But also, if they don't have the means for a fee, we'll drive to their farm and we'll butcher their animals for them.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's good. So because a lot of people, what I realize now, a lot of people looking for local farmers.
Yeah,
And even though a lot of people as well looking for butchers, they have the animal, but they look like what you said, the mobile butcher where you move and go
yeah.
and butcher for them. A lot of people looking in for that as well. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. So anyone I know looking for that kind of service, I can reach out to you. So that's something good, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. For real. I like that. And so how much will you have, like a half acre that you
we
raise these animals on?
we have
No,
99
can't be
acres.
half acre, no.
We have 99 acres.
Damn. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 99. Well, it's divided in half, between two sets of cousins from my great uncle. But we're on 45. They have the other portion, but all of it is accessible to me because I'm pretty much the only one that manages it. I have a
Okay,
couple of
okay.
cousins that come to hunt during the hunting season, but as far as management, it's just me.
Oh wow. All that land, man. You guys could use the land and make lots of money.
Yeah,
For real. That's all they don't need to be working for anyone. They need to use this land, utilize the land and employ people. That's how I
right.
see it. Be your own boss. I mean, that's a lot of land, man. 19, man, man, this you alone, nobody else want to walk the land. And basically you could survive off the land because you could hunt
Yeah,
on the land, plant your
yeah,
food. And
yeah.
wow,
90% of the food comes from the property.
man. This thing is, and this is the problem, man. People not utilizing certain things that they have. Utilize it. I mean, you can make a lot of money in farming.
Right.
I mean, farming, agriculture is the number one market in the world today because people got to eat. People need meat. People need food. You can
Right. And
even take
yeah,
a land and let people work the land for you.
yeah.
You
Well,
just oversee, you know?
yeah, I'm working on some premium meats. So, my eggs and chickens, pork. I'm looking at like high end clients for that. It's kind of a niche market. People with my business where I do deliveries. A lot of the people, most of the people, we're talking about people that are making high six figures and into the seven figures. People who have second and third homes. They've got personal chefs. They haven't gone to the grocery store in years and years and years. All they know is that when they come home, when they come to the table at a certain time, there's food on the table at that certain time every day.
Right,
And
right.
however it gets there, they don't care. They give their chefs a budget, and that's it. And so a lot of times, whenever I go, I have one of my farm hats, one of my farm shirts, and that always starts a conversation. And so I'm selling no less than 25 dozen eggs a week um, to upscale clients. I sell whole chickens. A lot of people feel like I'm taking advantage, and I have to explain to them I'm not taking advantage because most of the time these clients are setting my prices for me.
Hmm.
I sell a dozen eggs for $12. I sell a dozen duck eggs for $16. Um, a whole chicken is $25.
Oh,
You know,
wow, okay.
but but that's organic, that's pasture raised. No pesticides on my pastures. No
All
pesticides.
right.
No, I don't. No pesticides on my property. You know, uh,
That's what I like, man.
and yeah, so people are willing to pay for that. People who are conscious of their health and the benefits of eating food that is organic. And I'm not certified organic because I went through that process, and it's just a label. It was almost impossible to get there, and then just really difficult to maintain it. And I just tell people I'm not organic certified, but my practices exceed organics requirements.
Right.
So I have to give that disclaimer, but I can't add it. But again, it's just that whole organic thing is just a label. It's a way for the grocery store to be able to charge you more for those eggs, or more for that chicken, or more for that bacon or that beef. It's just a label. You'll be better finding a farmer and buying your stuff from them, and they'll talk to you. They'll tell you about their practices. You just ask. For the most part, most farmers are going to be honest and tell you, because I don't, or any other farmer doesn't want to sell you something, and then you're going to come back and say, "Well, that made me sick." No, I want you to come back for more. So
Right, right. Business, that's how business work.
yeah,
That's what I like. What and a lot of people don't understand that they might go to a store, like you now said, and believe they're buying organic food, which these people they're just labeling them as organic.
right,
They don't have a clue what grow these foods. But when you grow it yourself and you see
right.
what you put in around your food, so you understand. But I like what you're doing, man. You're growing things natural. Wait, this hands in the door said, do you have wild hogs on your land?
Yeah, we trap some of the wild hogs. We don't see very many of them. Usually they move through at nighttime, and they kind of have their own little schedule. But yeah, there we do have some. We harvested a huge board last year. I actually last year one of my domestic um pigs got bred by a wild pig.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and yeah, we had some piglets that they're kind of crazy. I ended up having to put them down and put them in the freezer. But yeah, we do have plenty of them.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So, so you have, oh man, you have everything on your land, man. You know what I mean? You could basically live off that land.
Yeah.
You don't need anything. You ain't gotta go to the supermarket. You ain't gotta go no. You just can live off that land. And this is the thing, man. That's what people got to get back into. Living off the land. Let the land provide for you, man.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. You know, when I was younger, you know, we didn't have snacks, man. It was like my grandma would kick us out. It was like, go outside. I'll see you for dinner. You know, and we would be all over the place in the woods, climbing trees. You know, we'd be eating apples from the apple trees. We'd be eating plums, the wild plums, the American plums, the wild dewberries. And we would eat that. You know, that was our meal throughout the day. You know, we didn't go back to the house to get lunch. We, you know, there was no lunch because so my grandma was gonna be waiting on the porch with a broom, sending us back to where we came from. She just go outside and do something productive. I'll see you for dinner time. Um, and then even for dinner time, sometimes it was like, you know, hey, go out in the garden and get me a basket of okra. Go in the back and bring one of those chickens neck. You know, and I was like, well, why are we gonna do that? Grandma, you don't like a chicken neck. Well, if you want to eat, you go do that.
For real, for real. But this is exactly how I grew up. I grew up where the pigs, the goat, the sheep, the cows, just there. And if you wanna, whatever your parents feel like eating for the weekend, that's what they kill it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a good life, man. This is a good life. Hey, Joshy Ben, how you doing? Joshy Ben, hey, lady, okay.
No, I see. I see.
All
How you doing,
right.
Dr. Beck?
And hands in the door was asking if you in Georgia. This person asked, are you in Georgia?
I'm in Alabama.
Okay, all right.
It's west central Alabama. I'm probably about maybe 30 miles away from the Mississippi border.
Okay, someone asking, can I buy 2 acres next door? So someone
Well,
I don't want to buy.
you know, like we're the small property that's like we're in the middle of all the big farmers. I mean, it's 5,000 acres on one side, and it wraps around us, and then on the other side there's another 3,000 acres, and then the
Man,
highway is on the other side, and you go in from our house across the highway, and I don't know how far. It's probably another 1,000 acres. So we're just sandwiched in between the middle of all these big farmers,
wow. Wow,
and they're not
that's
selling. They're raising corn and soybeans every year for the most part, and hay and hay.
wow. That's cool, man. Honestly, the life I like is seeing trees, animals. You know what I mean? I really like, I'm not to the big building and the pretty, you know what I mean? I just like
Yeah,
to see the trees, the nature. I just enjoy that, man. You know what I mean? But the land you have, man, uh, everybody should come together and a land could turn you guys rich people, man. Come together and walk the land, raise a lot
yeah.
of cows.
There's a lot of people that most people don't want to do that, but now, well, for me, it was kind of weird because this is normal for me. But then, like after coronavirus, and the lockdown and everything, everybody decided they wanted to be gardeners, and it's. I'm like, okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, it's not new to me. People like, I go to like the garden centers and the nurseries, and people will ask you questions, and it's like, well, how do you know so much about this? I'm like, I've been doing this for 40 years, so it's kind of second nature. Um,
That's true. That's true. You basically do it all your life.
yes,
So it's basically become a part of you.
yeah,
It's the same thing with me, man. I've been doing this from since I little boy. had no choice because my parents was farmers. So from the time I born, I had no choice but get into a changing the animal, feeding the fowl. But I never regret it because today I'm basically reaping the benefits. So it's a good thing, man. And I just love to hear people talking about gardening and man, I like what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I like what you're doing.
Yeah, I couldn't stop if I
But
wanted
that
to. It's like I
99
said, it's
acres
part of
need
me.
to be plowed.
It's what is it? There's 20 acres that like well it's family property. So there's 20 acres. My uncle has 2 or 3 horses, and he doesn't want to share that pasture. So I had to reclaim some land from the forest. So I have about 6 or 7 acres that I'm going to be putting my cows on, and another acre right adjoining to that where I'm going to be having my pigs on pasture. And then the garden space is, I think, probably total about 3.5 acres of just the actual garden spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. That's awesome, man.
Slowing down. I think we may have lost him. Yeah. Fix that. So you gotta, there you go. Other way, dude. I was facing to the right. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Is the boat coming this way? What's that? Is the boat coming this way? I have no idea. Man, I think we lost Mr. Sam. Yeah. Yeah, he is gone.
All right. I
Oh, there
don't
you
know,
go.
like the internet acting up. Sorry for that. Sorry for that.
Yeah, what I was saying, yeah, it's family property and it's a challenge sometimes because, whenever it seems like I'm doing, I'm doing too well, I have people have issues, but as long as it sits there and just let the grass grows up and nobody cares. But I'm the only one down there that's cutting, 3.5 acres of grass twice a week, and keeping the trees back out of the road. Um, so it's a challenge sometimes. But I'm actually looking for about 120 acres, 150 acres to start a U pick. I'm gonna probably pick about 10 different crops where they're not getting. It won't be harvest time at the same time. They may have a little bit of overlap. So every 4 to 6 weeks, there'll be a different crop that'll be ready to be picked. So blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, greens, uh, sweet potatoes, all kinds of different things, and just people just can for free. They come and pick their own. I'll probably shoot somewhere for like 60% of what it would cost in the market. That's what they could buy it for my youth pick. As well as possibly putting in a pond for fish, and also I was thinking of doing like some trees. So planting fruit trees, some nut trees, so some maybe a family the Jones family. They pay whatever I decide for that fee, and they get their own tree. They get their own apple tree. They get their own pecan tree. And when it's time for harvest, they can come and they can harvest all those apples from that tree, or for a fee, I can harvest the apples for them. But every apple from that tree belongs to them. Every walnut or pecan from that particular tree belongs to them. And if they don't want to pick it, I can shake the trees and pick it, the nuts, or climb up and pick all the fruit. That's my my idea right now for my youth pick. It's probably maybe even getting into where offer meat through that farm, as well as eggs.
Mm-hmm. Man, just keep expanding, man. You have the land, so just keep expanding. Maybe in the future, I might get a few people to work with you, help you out, make things a little easier.
Yeah, Jacobin. I raise tilapia and catfish in aquaponics. So tilapia, catfish, crawfish, and freshwater crawfish I raise in aquaponics.
Okay.
And my closest neighbor is like 3 miles away. Well, 2 miles away.
Okay, wow. Can I get some passion fruit? Joshie Bet says, can she get some passion fruit?
I have a couple of vines, so when I come back to Florida, I'll see if I can get some started, and if I have some started when I come back to Florida, which is actually next week, I'll see what I can do. I may have some in my property in that area.
Okay. The everyday life of an OC, she say, if any shrimps, do you real shrimps?
Yes, freshwater shrimp in my aquaponics system. Yes.
Okay, man, you're doing a lot, Ken.
I used to work I guess I'm still part of the healthcare industry, and I used to get a lot of the FDA bulletins, and it's public information. It's nothing that anybody can access, but because I was in the pharmacy, I would get a lot of those. They were more visible to me. Like we got them once a week, or if there was something that was serious, where I had to go like right now and pull this medication off our shelves. So I would get all of these FDA bulletins. Well, I would get the drug side, and I also had access to the food side. And from the 90s until now, I've just watched the number of food recalls just go up. There used to be one or two. Sometimes there was nothing on the recall list. Now there's always something on that recall list. Maybe, I don't know, 20 or 30 things on that recall list. Last month was National Blueberry Month. Blueberries were on recall last month. And I wanted to get away from that. I wanted to get to the point to where I don't have to care about it, because I'm not buying that stuff from the grocery store. And so my goal was to get as independent of the grocery store as possible. So like I said, right now I'm 90% there. And honestly, I could probably do 100%, but there's things right now that like my wife likes and I like, and we'll go to the grocery store and get it. But in a situation where the grocery store was no longer available, I'd still be fat.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Even a supermarket closed, you still can eat.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been preparing for a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Because it's getting serious, man. It's getting really serious.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't really understand it, what's really going on. But and like I said, for me, it's just normal. I've been on that clock the same way for years and years and years. With getting everything, my crops planted and my animals taken care of. It's just normal. My boys have helped me with it, even though they don't always appreciate it. They'll never starve because it'll come back to them automatically. If they ever got to the point where they had to do the same thing, where they had to provide most of their food for their house, they could do it.
Mm-hmm. Someone, okay. Did I Florida eating dinner? All right, thank you, Duval. David asks, do you have a channel?
I don't. I need to. People keep asking me like, you should have a channel. You should do podcasts. And so I have a mentor. And I have weekly homework. And so this week I was supposed to actually like at least start my channel, put up a bio, put up a video, and I didn't have time. I was on the road from Sunday until like 3 o'clock this morning. So I got home and I went to sleep. I woke up probably about 5 hours ago. So I didn't get a chance to do it, but I am going to get caught up on my homework for this week.
All right. Yes, I'm gonna definitely encourage you, and I'm gonna keep pushing you to get some videos, get a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
put some videos because you have a lot to share. You have a lot of information, you have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people will love to, and then you could also talk about your business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Promoting your business as well, which I will help you as well if I know anybody within your area that need.
Right.
I'll definitely tell you about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was speaking with my go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying somebody already says start a channel, they will subscribe. So I'm gonna be pushing you to start a channel.
Yeah, I think I'll get it set up tomorrow. I was saying I was hoping I could get it done today, but I didn't have time. I was exhausted from being on the road for 3 days. But I was speaking with my mentor yesterday, and he's got big plans. YouTube podcast. Just talking with. He's like, I can put together like 40 books for you, like off of like the things that you do and what you're into. And I was like, okay, yeah. Well, I want to trust your judgment. We're gonna go at it.
Definitely, man. Because once you have knowledge and information to share, man, especially the way you're doing stuff, the way you're growing your food, natural. I'm a fan of growing food natural.
Yeah.
I don't believe in pesticide, chemical. I don't believe in those things. So I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I'm saying, man, you have the land to do wonders. So don't stop what you're doing. Keep pushing, man.
Yeah, when you talk about natural farming, a lot of times people don't even understand because everybody has this idea of what is right. What is the right way to do things? And there's not necessarily the right way to do things. There's always a way to do it, and usually there's a better way to do it. But I think when you start with like natural systems, when you're growing food, and you stick with those, you have less problems. Like I use a lot of compost tea. For my compost, I spray my plants with compost tea, like once a week. You can't do it too much, and it helps to build the soil. It helps to build the microbes in your soil, and you have less pest problems. Everybody's like, oh my God, all these hornworms on my tomatoes and my peppers, all the squash vine borers. I haven't seen a squash vine borer all year. I think it's just because I have good bugs around my in my area because I don't disturb the soil. I don't add things to my soil that don't need to be there because it's not, it actually it does more harm than good. Like you can go buy a bag of fertilizer from your co-op or from Walmart and put it out, and that corn or that tomato is going to jump green, and then next week you're going to be thinking, what is wrong with my tomato? because it you know, those, and I don't want to get too heavy into the science of, but basically the way they produce those, it's a salt, and that salt kills all of the good bugs that are in your soil. Um, and you know, and you wind up with a worse soil that than you started with. You have a horrible soil that you paid for. You paid to kill your soil, and it's not going to be worth anything. Instead of just be patient. You know, if you have trees on your property, you know, rake the leaves up, and you know, whenever you know, especially if you live in a cold area, break those leaves up, spread them in your garden over the winter. They'll break down, even though it's cold. You know, on those warmer days, the earthworms will come up, and they'll drag all that stuff down, and it'll build your soil. It just takes a while. It takes time. I'm building my soil. It's horrible. It's sandy soil, but I have clay down about 4 feet, so it's actually wonderful for grapevines. I'm putting in about 20 grapevines this year, because my wife loves them, my kids love them, and you know, I think grapevines scare people. Anything that takes a long time to grow or mature, people are afraid of it. So you know, asparagus and fruit trees and you know, but a lot of times you can put those things in containers. I've got, you know, 3-year-old grapevines in containers. I'm going to put my almond tree in a container. I'll have a blood orange tree in a container, just so I can experiment with, you know, whether I put it in a greenhouse or I leave it out, or if I can just do a cover for it when it gets cold and just leave it where it is. But you know, hey, my biggest thing is I want everybody to grow something. It doesn't cost a lot. You know, I'm in a lot of platforms all over about farming and agriculture, and I always say, you're like, man, I spent $3,000 on all these raised beds and this, you know, Miracle Grow and all this stuff, and I got one tomato. I said, you're doing it wrong. You know, I could show you. I could take $100 and I could fill up your refrigerator, and you'll be giving away food because you have nowhere to put it. You know, with $100. And people don't believe it because everybody, oh, it's gotta be pretty. You know, you gotta have this nice, beautiful raised bed, and you gotta have this and that. You know, when I was in Florida, I had a tiny yard. I had no less than 70 buckets that I got from the bakery for free, and I had everything in buckets because I had a little space that I was growing greens in, probably about a 5 by 20 space, which ended up becoming my chicken coop area. So I had to have somewhere else to grow. I had buckets. I went to the bakery every week, and I got all their buckets that they used to have to get the icing in. I planted tomatoes. I planted peppers. I had cantaloupe. I had a watermelon. You know, I had them on line up against a chain link fence, and I had them trained up the chain link fence. And people will come by like, what is all that? This looks so terrible. And then once I started getting peas and beans and watermelons, they're like, oh, can I buy some of this? Can I buy some of that? It went from, oh, I've never seen that before. That's not gonna work. You don't know what you're doing. So hey, that's fantastic. You should teach people how to do that. So it's a mindset. I think people think that you got to spend a lot of money to do this. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. And the biggest thing that really bugs me when people say, oh, it costs too much money to eat healthy. No, if it does, you're not doing it right. You know, don't go to Walmart. Don't go to the grocery store. Go to the farmer's market and buy those things from a farmer. Now, you may pay the same price, but you're going to get a lot more, and it's going to be better quality.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm so happy that you made that statement, because this is the same thing I've been all year. I've been talking about the soil, building your soil, and how important your soil is. And a lot of things we buy and throw in our soil destroy our soil instead of helping the soil. You know, sometimes
it's the most important. It's the most important part of growing. You know, people feel like, oh, it's the rain, it's your location. You can mitigate weather. You can mitigate climate. But if you don't have good soil, you're not going to be able to do anything. But you can fix the soil. You can rejuvenate the soil. but it's a slow process. It's not a fast process. But you know, people ask me about certain things. It's like, oh, I want to be. I'm interested into this in farm to table, and I said, no, it's soil to table. That's what you need. That's the best food. It's going to be soil to table when you're looking at it from the soil all the way to you harvest it. That's the best food for you.
I agree with you, man. I have to say I agree with you because it's what I've been saying all the time. The soil, the soil, the soil. How important is soil is. I always talk about building your soil naturally. So when you build your soil naturally, you're gonna create such a beautiful soil. But when you add in these things that they add in these things that you throw around your plant, you're killing your soil. And for the first year, your plant might grow and look big, but nothing inside them. There's no nutrition inside them. There's no mineral inside of them, but they're looking so big. You have some tomato big like this, but
Right.
they have nothing to offer you. These are things I'm so happy you say this tonight because it's the same thing I'm keep talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, welcome, Black Guns and Gardening. How you doing? Welcome, everybody. Angela Canvas Delight. Thank you for being here. Thank you. All things Scotty. Thank you for being here. Joshua Duval, City Girl Gardening. Thanks, every one of you, for being here. I mean, this is exciting because there's a lot of knowledge pouring out here tonight, guys. Ken knows a lot. He plants, he real animal. I mean, he do it all, man. Yes, Ken. What you talking about, man, is what I've been saying. The soil. The soil. I did so much videos about the soil because I already know my father tell me if you want to grow healthy food, your soil have to be healthy.
Yeah.
And try to create natural compost. Your plants get more nutrition, more mineral from the soil naturally than these products we're getting from the store.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been getting questions like all year. People are having problems, you know, like, oh, my potatoes, they grew beautifully, but then when I pulled them up, like there's nothing there. You know, like it's your soil. Either your soil is too rocky or too sandy, or just there's not enough nutrients in it. So you might have enough nutrients to make some pretty fly leaves, but it's not enough of the right nutrients to produce potatoes, or they're small potatoes. And it's all about the soil. And people think everything is kind of set and forget, and it's not. I mean, it's not difficult, but it's not set and forget. You got to put in a little bit of work. You do a little bit of work every year, multiple times throughout the year. You know, you add some leaf mold, some compost in the beginning of the season. You add it in throughout the season, and you add in more when you put your beds, you know, to sleep for the winter. And you keep doing that, and over time, it's going to gradually get better.
You know, I've been planting for the same place for a long time. And you know, sometimes by you planting the same place, the soil can get weak and loose.
Right.
I don't have that problem because all I add to my soil is the leaves, the dry grass clippings. That's all I add. That's all I use. And I'm telling you, my soil was basically almost look like clay. But now, if you see it, it look dark because over this is why I don't plant winter crop. I try to put as much food in the ground from February, come right down to June, July, and then I stop. So I'm gonna just be harvesting and leave all the bushes to grow up in the garden because the plants them tall. So these bushes not really gonna do anything to them. Then when the winter comes, they're gonna dry. And then In the winter, I mix them in with the soil and leave them. So for the spring now, I get a jump start because what happened, the leaves take a longer time to break down. But if you keep doing it every year, it wouldn't be a problem because you did it last year, you did it the year before.
Right.
So what's gonna happen? It's gonna keep breaking down. So your soil gonna remain at a certain level. You know, so that's what I'm talking about. Rich soil.
Yeah.
The soil is everything. Stop putting all these things around your plant because they're killing your soil.
Yeah. And you know the best soil conditioner that, in my opinion, the best soil conditioner is sawdust. If you can get sawdust, you know, and just put it out on your soil. People are gonna tell you, oh, you don't put too much sawdust in your soil because it's gonna make your soil acidic. Not really. If you have sandy soil, whatever is in that sawdust anyway, it's gonna wash out. But what's gonna happen is it's gonna transform your sandy soil into a nice coffee brown loam.
Right.
It'll transform your clay soil into a nice coffee brown loam. You know, the worms are your friends. The worms are gonna come up and they're gonna pull all that carbon down to 20 feet down sometimes. And they'll mix it in for you. You don't even have to do any work. I mean, you could if you have compacted soil, you could probably use a fork and kind of just, you know, work it around a little bit to make holes. But the worms are going to do the work for you, and they're going to pull all that nutrients down into the soil, and mix it for you. You know, you just got to be patient. You know, I used to use a tiller. I still use it at times, but that's not the best for your soil. But if you can keep it, transform it to where you want it, it's gonna be always compact, gonna be a nice mixture, a nice loam, that's gonna be good for any plants. And also, you know, a good thing to practice is row rotation, because I like to rotate my crops. I like to plant like beans in one spot, and then I'll plant my corn there the next year. And that way, because you know, corn and tomatoes, those are heavy feeders, and so I like to rotate those beans all over those spaces to put back that nitrogen that some of the heavy feeders deplete from the soil.
That's the thing, man. And the thing about it as well is knowing your soil and knowing your plant. What I used to do, right? I used to rotate my plants then. Like if I plant the tomato here, the pepper there, the edibles, I used to rotate them every year. But what I noticed by rotating them, I realized in certain areas they does better than in certain areas. I remember the first year I plant pepper trees and they grow over my head. I used to have to pull them down to harvest. And then I realized pepper love a lot of hot sun.
Yes.
Pepper love hot sun. So if you really, right now, I have pepper, no start to bear pepper. I got to pull over 6 feet tall, heading for 7 feet.
Oh yeah. When I lived in Florida, I had one that was 6 feet tall. The only reason why it's still not there is you know, one of the hurricanes knocked a tree over and it fell on that pepper plant. It was a habanero, and it was 6 feet tall, and it was, you know, probably 3 feet around. And from 3 feet up to the top, it was just full of peppers. I you know, I'd fill up my freezer and I had to give the rest away. Off just that one plant, I probably harvested 10 pounds of peppers a year.
Yeah, I believe you, man. Because I have one, they call it monkey pepper. It's a hot pepper. And I mean, I know there are video with my peppers them. That how they grow big. And this pepper tree is so wide and tall. You know what I'm saying? And why, you know, and the next thing again, I plant my pepper them deep, like 12 inches deep, because I already know the height they're gonna become, and I
Right.
already know a pepper tree. If you implant a pepper tree deep enough, when the wind blows, sometimes it break it out the root.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of benefit planting them deep. I mean, I plant everything deep, a matter of fact, but I get great results. So this is why, you know, I try to tell people about, you know, try these ways. Maybe it might work for you. It doesn't matter where you planting. Some people believe, oh, I'm in over here, so you're no. There's method you can use and get the same result, no matter where you are. Because I seen it for myself.
Yeah. And you know, and if you have, yeah, not even a lot of space, but you know, there's microclimates within like your growing areas. You know, you might notice that one spot, like you know, my main garden, it's sloped, and so the top of it gets really dry. I can't plant tomatoes there, you know, and then the middle is a moist part. So my tomatoes love it down there in the middle. In the top part, I can plant. Uh, like peas, field peas, because
Mm-hmm.
though they do need water, they don't need a lot of water. And so as long as we have rains or every now and then I water it, they do well in that sandy portion, you know, because they're bred for that, for the hot, dry, sandy soils in the south. And then you know at the bottom, very bottom, I plant my corn because they don't like a lot of water, but they do need you know a good bit of water. And so you have to learn um, your garden spaces and learn all the different nuances that are going on in that space. Because even though like yeah, I'm in zone 8A, you know this is my normal temperature, this is the weather, this is that. You can have zones within your garden space that behave differently, and you have to realize that certain plants are just not going to grow well there, and you got to figure out, do some experimentation, ask somebody his opinion, get some advice, and work with your soil, work with your actual growing space.
I agree with that because you see these things I definitely can agree because these are things I do. Over the years, I rotate all my plants them because I want to know where they grow better. So by me rotating them, I see where the tomato grow better, the pepper, the cabbage, the Brussels sprout. I see where they grow better. So that's where I start planting them. So you're right. You're supposed to know the location in your garden and where. This is why I always say as well, study your plant. Know what your plant like. Some plant love lots of sunlight. Some plant really don't. Some plant love the root to be wet. Some plant love dry areas. So the more you understand what your plant like, the more you're gonna get from your plant. Some Joshi Ben wanna know where in Florida do you visit?
Oh, normally in the Lakeland area, but pretty much from end to end of the I-4 corridor. So basically from Tampa to Daytona, but mostly like Orlando, Lakeland.
All right. My whole garden gonna be an experiment. It's my force. All right. Well, just keep up. Did you do your YouTube channel as yet with your gardening? Because I will be looking forward. I mean, gardening is an experiment because especially when you know start, because you got like we know was said, you have to learn your plan, you have to learn the location, you have to learn about your soil, which is very important. For me, I will not tell anyone to go to the store and buy manure, compost, whatever it is. If you could do that, create it for yourself, is
Yeah,
better for you. But I'm
yeah.
not going to tell you not to go to the store, okay?
I'll do it. I'm gonna tell you not to go to the store. Don't go to the store. So I mean, you can look on Facebook Marketplace. People have rabbits. People have chickens. There's people that are trying to get rid of it. People have horses. You know, they're trying to get rid of that stuff. I mean, I'm not. There's, you know, I'm in Alabama, but I'm too far from Birmingham to make that trip. But you know, I saw somebody had free manure. You know, they have a horse stable and they're shoveling horse manure daily, and they want to get rid of it. You know, they'll, you know, I think they said if you pay 50 for if for $50, they would load it on your truck with a tractor. But if you wanted to come get it, like if you had your own labor, like some teenagers and some shovels, you can take as much as you want for free. But they'd help you out for $50 with the tractor, and that's still good. That's still pretty good. Just take it, you know, take it home, dump it in a spot and leave it there for a year. Or you know, if you're into composting or want to get into composting, learn about that and compost it down. Because with a hot compost, that manure will be ready to go in your garden in probably, you know, 6 or 7 weeks. But yeah, just get started. Do something. If you got questions, ask some questions. And you know, nobody's gonna laugh at you because we've all you're gonna kill a plant. We've all killed a plant. I've killed a plant. Dr.
Oh,
Bed has
yes.
killed plants. You know,
Yes, yes.
Sam has killed some plants. And we're gonna kill more plants because when you're in your garden, it's an experiment, but it is an ongoing experiment. It's just not, okay,
Yes.
I figured it out this year. Now I'm a master. No, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I'm still learning things, and I'm still improving on some of my techniques.
That's what I just say as well. Still learning. You learn something new every day you step in the garden. Well, with me.
Yeah, my
Every
goal
time,
every day when I wake up is to learn something new.
yes, you never, nobody can tell you they know it all in the garden because I learn things every day. And then sometimes I'm growing different food that I never grew before. So I'm also studying that plant. I'm watching how that plant growing. The thing about me, I don't just plant food. I study them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about me going in the garden and plant them. I study them because I'm looking for this plant to produce lots of food for me. So I have to study them to make sure they get what they want and what they like. And then they produce in abundance. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah. So Jacobed, I used to lazy compost, and I will let my compost cook for a year, but it doesn't take a year to compost. If you there's a ratio with your compost to get it to break down. It'll get hot. Honestly, I don't follow any rules. I experiment. I figure out things for myself, and I do things my way. But there is a ratio that you can follow. I don't know what it is because I don't follow it. But your compost will get up to 150 degrees within 3 days, and everything that's in there will cook down. You know, even the weed seeds. So if your compost is broken down properly, like nothing's gonna survive in that compost. It doesn't matter what you put in there. There's weed seeds are not gonna survive. Any seeds from like some scraps you threw in there, they're not gonna survive. They're gonna break down, and you're gonna have some beautiful, additives for your soil. But yeah, it doesn't take a year. If you don't get it hot enough, then yeah, it will take a year for it just to rot and for the worms to get in there and break it down. Which is, you know, some people are like that. Like that's my style. I do. I just pile it up and I leave it there. But it's taken me a while to produce enough compost, even though I have a lot of trees and leaves I can add into it. I'm going to be trying to get my compost to accelerate a little bit faster and being able to go from, you know, a fresh pile to compost within about 2 months.
Yes. I used to use like cow manure and chicken manure, but when I was small with my parents. But what they used to use with the like under the chicken coop, you see the sawdust, the fine sawdust.
Mm-hmm.
They used to spread that under the chicken coop, and when that mix with the fall manure, and then when it's ready and you put it around the plant, them plant just shooting up, man. So foul manure with a like a sawdust mixed together
Oh yeah.
does wonders in your garden for real.
Yeah, I have access to a kind of unlimited sawdust. So I have in my chicken coop I use the pine shavings. Like I said, I remove that yearly and put it into my compost. But then the actual chicken run, I put down sawdust, and it for one it helps it stay dry. Because I have chickens and ducks, and ducks are messy, but I don't have that problem because of the sawdust. That sawdust absorbs so much moisture, and also there's no smell. That's a big problem complaint that we
Right.
have about having animals is the smell. You dump down 2 inches of sawdust, all it smells like a wood shop.
Right,
And
right.
then and it breaks down, and it basically I add more levels, but it never gets higher because it breaks down, and I'm just adding on top of it, and it breaks down. And when it gets to a certain point, I dig it out, add that to the compost, and then from there, we just start it all over again.
Wonderful. Hey, welcome. How you doing? The Nomi Manik, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, RG Willis, thank you for being here. Duval, thank everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys. Yes, Ken. So, man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. For real. Keep what you know a lot. You have a lot of knowledge about planting food. You know about butchering. Man, you man, listen to me. Get that land going, man. Trust me. Get some workers to help you out, and man, you could do wonders over there, man. For real.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be probably doing here soon because one of the things I'm doing is I am trying to get all of my children to be entrepreneurial. So my boys are doing vermicomposting. So they're raising worms, and they're selling the worms and the worm compost. My daughter, she's doing microgreens. I want to get her into I want to buy her some goats so she can get started into doing some goat's milk cosmetics, as well as raising flowers. Because they want things, and I tell them, I'm not getting ready to buy all those things you want, but I can show you how you can make the money to buy whatever you want. Now we're going to put half of your profits in the bank, and then once you divide up, your profits between your siblings, you can do whatever you want to do with it. So you're the sky's the limit. So as hard as you work, that's the spoil that you can make yourself. All the video games and whatever, the expensive shoes, all you want. But I'm not paying.
You know what? That's exactly how my parents brought me up. That's exactly how my parents brought me up. When I was like 3, 4 years old, I had my own sheep. And from that sheep, turned me into 3, 4 sheep, 5 sheep. And now I start buying my own shoes. They wasn't buying it for me. I was rearing my own animal from that young age. And man, that's amazing. I'm so happy that they did that because they make you independent from such a young age. Like a provider, it's like they give you that start.
Yeah.
And now you got to take that start and move forward with it. So that's wonderful, man.
Yeah. So they are depression proof, recession proof, whatever. They're never going to starve. They can't.
Yes, yes.
They have too many skills and too much knowledge.
That's it. And with skills and knowledge, I mean, nobody could take that away from you. From the time you acquire that skill and the knowledge, nobody could take it away from you. There's always a blessing. Hello, Cassandra South Fulton. Thank you for being here. Yes, because the kids, them, man, we have to involve the kids, them, in the garden because the skill is not just going to school and learning what they're teaching us in school. It's the skill. The skill matters because with the skill, It's not even just about gardening. There's carpenter, try to acquire some kind of skill, man. Because when the pandemic was here, the skill person was still when this is closing down, everywhere is closing. The person with the skill still was working. So it's important to gain some kind of skill. So encourage the kids them.
Yeah, I got, during the pandemic, I got busier. Everybody was like, working from home or not working, getting laid off. I was
Right.
running. I was busier. Because
Exactly.
people needed things, and then I had uh, I had the skills to get those things accomplished, and so yeah, I was busier. It was wild. I was my when I was on the road, I was one of the few vehicles actually on the road, except for like maybe the policemen and like some of the big semis. It was it
Right.
was it was crazy.
A lot of people, honestly, a lot of people some people will tell you they make the most money within that time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, some people they
yeah,
never made money like that before.
yeah,
So
and
the
yeah.
skill.
And then also, during that time, the price of gasoline just went, I think I was getting gas for like $1.50, the lowest it had been in probably 10 years. And so,
Right, right.
I mean, it was exponential. I was busier and I was making more money because I was putting less money in my gas tank because the prices of
Right.
gas is so low. Yeah.
That's amazing, man, for real. Yes. I appreciate you, Ken. I don't know if you want to continue or if you are ready to go. But if you're ready to go, just tell the people them, like some people now come in, share some information where what you do, and then you come in with your YouTube channel very soon. So
Yeah, I mean, I do everything homestead. I grow everything, raise everything, and so yeah, I'm gonna do something tomorrow with my YouTube page. I guarantee I'm gonna at least set it up and do a bio, and I may even put a little video in there. And that way I'll get started. But I already have some content that I need to edit. So I already have the material. I just don't have it set up. So I need to stop procrastinating and get that done. So I'm sincerely gonna get on that tomorrow.
all right. I'm gonna be on you for that, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna
You
be
and
on you.
you and you and probably another dozen other people. Like I said, I got my mentor and other people I talk to all the time. Like, hey, you know, my mentor blew my mind last night. We were talking about the YouTube and the books and podcasts.
Well,
So
honestly, if you could really get a writer for sit down with you, you know what I'm saying? Like a writer to sit down with you, and I mean, you definitely could get some book out there, man. And I think you should do that, but just get some a good trustworthy person. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I mean, you have a lot of information to share, valuable information as well. So you could get some books out there for real.
yeah, yeah. And also, there's a couple of us, we all met on, Clubhouse, but we're putting together a cooperative right now. It's I should remember the name. I can't. It's blackag.org. I think is what it's our website. But we're putting together a cooperative. It's a little bit different than what a lot of cooperatives are right now. And the main focus, or one of the focuses, is to be able to help people who are wanting to get into gardening. So from gardening all the way to a full-fledged farm. So gardening, homesteading, farming, and because a lot of people do have questions and they have anxieties around that. and you know, it'll be a real good place for knowledge, um, a good place for networking. The biggest thing is networking, you know, um, and you know, it's going to be a big deal. I'm I'm kind of excited about it. It's going to be national. You know, we're probably going to end up with like some regional offices and locations that, you know, we'll be using to, um, if somebody wants to start a farm, you know, we can guide them from how you get your farm number all the way up to how you decide how to form it, whether it be it an LLC or a sole prop or a corporation. Jacobette, she's a part of that. Yeah, it's we're small right now, but we're trying to build up and get to the point to where it's going to be something that is known within the ag circles. Because speaking with a lot of people who've been in agriculture for a long time, there's not something like what we're doing at this as of right now. You know, it's gonna, you know, part cooperative, part networking, part, you know, each one teach one. Um, it's just a movement we're trying to get, because a lot of people moved away from farming. You know, a lot of people back in the days, you know, especially in Chicago and in New York and you know, areas like Kansas City, you know, their families were from Mississippi, from Alabama, from Georgia, and they were, you know, sharecroppers. And it wasn't a, you know, that wasn't a good situation. You know, they were taking advantage of a lot of black people in that time, in that sharecropping setup, and a lot of them just ran away to the north, up north. And so a lot of people right now are trying to move back to their roots. A lot of people still have land in their family that's just sitting around idle. Some of it has been, you know, stolen because it's been sitting there and nobody really was taking care of it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's another thing we're going to be looking into is showing people how to legally um, protect their property, or you know, find property. They have property in their family, and once they get to that property, teaching them how to grow the food they want to grow on their property, be it food or livestock, or you know, all aspects of agriculture related to that.
You know, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But another group, I was there when everything was putting together, but I get so busy that but I got to get back with that because it's a lot of information there, and you guys, that's gonna be something awesome.
Yeah, yeah, we just elected officials last night, so it's, you know, it's officially an organization. We're doing some work now. We're trying to decide how we want to form it together. But you know, I'm the vice president. Jacobette is involved. She's in a smaller role because she's busy. I'm busy, but you know,
Right, right.
I'm busy, but I'm flexible. You know, because I make my own schedule, because you know, you know, I have everything I do is through my businesses. So you know, I can make my time as fluid as I need it to be. But
Got you.
I'm going to be doing a lot of recruitment on that. Trying to get members, trying to, you know, talk to people and get them to understand what we're trying to do, how we're trying to help them, um, you know, become, like I say, be it just somebody with a bucket on their patio in an apartment, all the way up to where somebody may have thousands of acres and they're growing hemp or they're growing corn or whatever they want to do.
You know what? You know, say something there, and a lot of family had lose a lot of land because they wasn't even aware of it. Because number one, if you have land and the tax is not paying for the land, the basically the sometimes the city come in and take the land
Yeah, so what
because
happens
of,
is that
yeah,
the county will come and take it. Right now, I'm looking at some property right now that's on that list that I may purchase. And I may not do anything with it personally, but I'll, you know, once I look at it, I'll decide what I want to do with it. I may just, you know, turn it into a community garden or give it to somebody, you know, or sell it to somebody in that area. But
right.
you know, I'm gonna just get as many parcels as I possibly can. because a lot of that property is some of that property that belongs to some of us. You know, it was where someone passed away, and
Yeah.
usually what happens is the kids are like, I don't want to live in Mississippi. I don't want to live in Arkansas. I'm content where I am in California or New York City or Atlanta. And they don't understand what they have. They a lot of times they sell it and they don't get any money for it, especially when you have big families. Okay, yeah, you may have 100 acres, but there's like 8 of you to split the money with, and you get $200,000, and then you divide it 8 ways, and in a year, nobody even has that money.
Right,
When
right.
you could have kept that property, paid property taxes on that property, and sold timber off that property every 7 years, and made that same amount of money that you sold the property for every 7 years and forever.
That's true.
Even after you pass, it goes to your kids, and they can keep on selling that timber off that property. They never even use it, or you can lease it to farmers. You can lease it to hunters. It's always better to keep that property in your family than sell it, because when you sell it, you're gonna get peanuts. But we a lot of us don't know how much money we really can get for things. Someone gets offered $10,000, $20,000, I think it's a lot of money. And you got to think, if this person offered me that much, how much can I really
Cost more.
negotiate it for? That's one of those things you can negotiate about, and they know that, and they're gonna come in with a lowball offer, and you're gonna be like, man, $10,000, that's 10,000 more than I have right now. I'll take that. But the property
Right.
is worth for $30,000, so you just gave it away. And again, most people get that money and they don't even invest it. They just say they buy a car, buy some clothes or TV,
Right,
on,
right.
and,
That's true.
it's gone, and the property's gone. And like I said, a year down the road, they have nothing to show for it. That's all part of what we're trying to do is education. Education is a big thing in our community that's kind of missing, especially when you're talking about entrepreneurship and farming. A lot of people don't really want to get into those things because they feel like uh, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of unknowns. Um, but it's not. It's something that they've heard. It's not even like they didn't try to do it. They've never tried it. They just heard that, oh, when you do this, you got to deal with this and this and that, and they don't want to even be bothered with trying to get into that, get
True,
experience
true.
for it.
Yes, it's very important for, like you said, man, a lot of people losing a lot of land property in different forms, because sometimes, like, someone might pass away and they have properties, and because nobody, sometimes you might even know that your family have so much land in maybe in a different state, and because no one take up the paying the tax is very important. If you don't pay your tax, you could lose your property. Whether you already pay for the property, you ain't owe no money for the property,
Right.
you still could lose it by not paying your tax.
and it,
So,
and it, and usually it's not a lot of money. You're talking about maybe you got 100 acres and your taxes are $1,000 a month. I mean a year, and on that third year of it not being paid, then they'll take it and they'll put it on the auction. You talking about
exactly,
losing 100 acres for $3,000. You know,
exactly.
when land is only 3,000 an acre anyway, that's crazy. But a lot of people, like you're saying, like I said, when someone passes away and they don't live there and they don't have any interest in farming or doing anything, and they just don't want to be bothered with it, they let it go. And it's never a good idea to let property go, because you
No,
know that land is not being made anymore. What you see is what we got. So it's never a good idea to get rid of it, in my opinion.
I agree with that too. Because land don't rotten. Land does not rotten. So, so it's an investment you could always have that can pass down from generation to generation. Maybe you might not want to do farming, but maybe one of your children might come and want to do farming. So keep paying that tax, avoid losing that property for a few dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know people that have land that don't want to do anything with the land, don't even live on the land, but they lease it. And you know,
All right.
the lease pays for the taxes and then some. You know, I mean, it's you know, it's easy to figure out ways how to pay those taxes, but people don't understand. They're not used to it, and these are not things that we're taught that are taught because a lot of us, you know, our families didn't have land, and you know,
Right.
for me, I thought it was normal for me. You know, we always had land. You know, this land was given to my family from the former slave owner, so we've had land since. I mean, and even then, it was illegal. And so that it was we had to do some creative things in order to keep the land in our family, but we did.
Right, right. Yeah, man, that's wonderful, man. Ken, man, we here for like 2 hours now. Thank
Yeah,
you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. All the knowledge you pour out, man. Man, thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate you, man.
no
And
problem.
anytime you're ready, we can do it again.
Oh yeah,
All right?
I can talk about gardening and farming and all that, forever. We can talk. We can talk. I talked for 6 hours yesterday on my way home.
Man,
So
me and you the same, man. I could go on and on and on,
yeah.
man. Yeah, man. But I truly appreciate you, man. We're gonna do it the next time. Whenever you get time, you're ready.
Oh yeah, I
Because
definitely
I,
did.
I do it, I do it every Thursday.
Yeah, yeah.
Every Thursday, that's it. So whenever you feel like you wanna come on, man, just hit me up, man.
We'll
All
do.
right. I truly appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for joining. We appreciate you guys. I hope you guys was taking notes because a lot of knowledge pour out here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Ken share a lot of knowledge, man. He doing it all. He planting food. He rearing animal. He sells animals. He butcher. So, man, Kendo, man, keep do what you're doing, brother. I appreciate you for real. All right,
Um,
guys. So, you want to say anything, Ken? Because I'm going on end. So,
yeah, you can go ahead. I'm sure everybody's tired of me talking. You can go ahead and end.
all right, all right. All right. No, man. Knowledge is power, man. All right, guys. So thank you guys for being here. I hope to see you guys next week. Peace, love, and blessing to all. Thank you guys very much.
All right, everybody have a good
Appreciate
night.
you, Ken. All right. Peace.